Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome. Alrighty, so today is our S&P weekly analysis. A lot of you all have been tuning in over the last few weeks, and I am here each and every Sunday at 7 p.m. CST. Today we are starting right at 8 p.m. CST. So if you are interested in turning your income up, you want to join these weekly free analysis on the S&P 500 index in the US market, where I go over the charts. I teach you how to trade and analyze the S&P index 500 for free. And I give you directional bias as to where do we think the S&P 500 may go for the week. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. Again, this is a live stream, so make sure that you click and subscribe and join me. Join me every Sunday here. We'll be uploading some other educational videos in the coming weeks, so make sure that you tune in. Again, if you are interested in getting off of your 9-to-5, if you are interested in creating an additional stream of income, if you're interested in just learning a new skill that elevates you and liberates you financially, even mentally, guess what? You want to be tuned in to Trading with Rags to Riches YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I'll be sure to make sure that you all receive educational content that helps you learn, okay? That helps you learn. So again, I probably have a few students on here. If you're on here, go ahead and feel free to put it in the chat. Let the YouTube audience know that we've been doing this for a while. So I'm going to catch you guys up. We're going to review last week S&P 500 analysis. Then we're going to look at this week, and I'm going to help you guys see where the market is going. When I show, you actually see my screen now, but when I go over this analysis, it's going to blow your mind. You're going to want to go back and watch the last 3 weeks, because I believe this is the 4th week, I think. You're want to go back and watch the last 3 or 4 live streams and see how accurate we are with this market, okay? So again, I'm going to help you guys get this money, but you got to show up. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at, okay, again, where we were last week. As you can see, marked by my blue marker, this is where we were last week. So last Sunday, December 3rd, okay? This is where we were. So we're going to go up to the daily because we always like to get a top-down analysis, as we call it. We want to see what that macro view looks like when it comes to where we are in the markets, okay? Where are we in the markets? Now, to some of you all, this may look confusing. It may look like you're reading, let's just say, another language. Guess what? You are reading another language, but luckily it's in English, okay? Just a couple lines and candlesticks on a chart. You can learn that very easily if you stay tuned in. With that being said, what we are looking at, again, is the S&P 500 index. It is the top 500 stocks in the US, okay? So we are trading the average value of those companies, all right? With that being said, what do you expect a business to do? You expect it to thrive, right? You expect it to grow. Now, only time you don't is if that business or a cumulative of those businesses are experiencing hardship, or perhaps even the economy, okay? With that being said, I'm always very bullish when it comes to indexes, depending on the current economy that we're in. we're relatively in a strong economy. We're bouncing back from the pandemic very well. So therefore, I'm looking for opportunities to buy, but I'm very aware when we're in those short-term sell opportunities. I pointed that out to you because overall, we are very bullish. This is the high of December 23rd, 2001. All right, in that area. All right, no, yeah, December 31st. Okay, so this is back in 2021. We're headed right back to that high, guys. All right. So I just want you to see how the market, has been extremely bullish. We had a nice, dip in the market over the last year, and we've been on that bullish trajectory ever since. So I wanted you to see what that looks like from a macro point of view, so that as we come down to these smaller time frames, you gain confidence in looking for those buy opportunities. Let's go ahead and go down to the 4-hour. So here on the 4-hour, as you can see, coming from the weekly, we're still very bullish. When I say weekly, we're looking at my red line that you guys see on the chart. Then we're going to look at the daily, which is the blue line, still very bullish. We're just looking at direction, okay? You see an upward direction in the market. Keeping it simple for those who may be new to the channel and don't quite understand. The rest of you guys, you understand what a bullish trend is, okay? So now we're going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to zoom in. And the only thing I want you to focus on are these blue and red candlesticks. Ignore all the other lines that you see on my chart. They do have a meaning, but I want you to look past that stuff, okay? Now, the green represents my 4-hour, which is the hour chart that we're on. 4 hours here at the top, okay? 4 hours. That is showing us that we are still in this very bullish trend. How do we know? The market is creating higher highs and higher lows. A high pulls back for a low, pulls up, creates a brand new high, a couple of brand new highs in here, pulls back, creates, a very small low, not nearly back close to this low. Therefore, we are confirmed in this very bullish trend, and prices continuing to create those new highs, okay, with minor pullbacks in between. And one of the things I want to point out, so as you guys see, I wanted you to focus on the candlesticks here. The next thing I want you to focus on is the trend lines that I pointed out. So you see this red upward trend line. You can see the arrow pointing to the upside. The blue one, the green. And the last thing I want you to focus on for my advanced people, my new people, you don't have to focus on this right now, but just be aware that I'm pointing it out to you. That way, as we continue to go through educational content, you know what I like to use on my charts. Get familiar with, the things that I trade with. With that being said, for those who are familiar with my Fibonacci, which is, I am a Fibonacci master. Okay, I'm very, very proficient in the Fibonacci. On other advanced educational videos that are coming out soon, I'll go more in depth on Fibonacci. But for now, just know that, all right, price has extended all the way to the negative 61.8. Again, this for my advanced people. Therefore, we are at a top of the market. It does not guarantee that price is ready to pull back because we are still in a Santa Claus rally. Talked about that on last week's live stream for our weekly analysis. We're still in that Santa Claus rally. I don't expect that optimism to turn into pessimism or fear or anything right now. So we can still extend well beyond this negative 61.8, but we are there, which is a good place to be in the market, okay? It just shows how strongly of a bullish market that we are in. All right, so I pointed out those to you, the trend that we are sitting in that 61.8, negative 61.8 area extension, and probably going to extend past that. The next thing I want you to focus on are these zones here. So if you see these this red, green, green, okay, those are what we call supply and demand zones, as well as support and resistance zones, aka, right? So as you can see, the price is respecting both those supply and demand zones based off previous price action. Again, my advanced people probably gets that right away. For the rest of you, let me pull my cursor back over. Come back to me. Hold on. There we go. All right. So as you can see, let's talk about where we were last week, because where we were last week is very, very important because, oh my God, let's talk about it. All right. So I don't change anything on the charts sometimes. Let me not, it's subjective. Okay. Because I am monitoring the markets throughout the week. I did adjust actually this demand zone, which was probably right about here last week. And when I went back and looked, I felt like this area was a little bit more accurate. I mean, just a few points below where we were, nothing too strenuous. Okay. So the demand zones are where price came to a low. I mean, demand. Okay. Where does price have the possibility of more buyers wanting to enter the market, right? All right. So look at it as a discount area in the market, right? And then we also have those supply zones. Now, those are areas where price and investors, traders, usually decide, okay, the market here is at a premium value. I don't really want to buy there. You know, you might have some sellers come into the market. You might have some take profiters come into the market. So that's what our rate is represented by. So usually hit some resistance in those areas. And usually what you'll see is the market either stalls out or pull back. Now, where were we last week? Okay, last week we started here. My yellow is my hourly line, but it's also my projection for you all. So look at how accurate the market responded to my projection. Okay, this is where I'm really talking to you guys about. I basically was showing you that price is going to pull back. Respect this demand zone. Okay, zones are not lines on a chart. They are areas of value on a chart. So does that mean that price is going to follow my projection to the T as far as right on top of my line? Absolutely not. But did the market ultimately create the pattern that you see, which I'm going to adjust it? Yes, the market did. All right. What do I mean? Let's pull up black so it looks a little bit different. Actually, what I want to do, let's do this. Put this back where it was. Okay, so y'all can see what I mean. Then let's pull up the black path tool. Black, black, black. All right, price came down, respected an area of value known as the demand zone. Pushed back up, right? Somewhere in a middle range, okay? Ultimately, it pushed up to our previous supply zone, our resistance zone, came back down. As you can see, look, represented by my yellow, came back down, except it extended a little bit past where I had it initially marked off. But the idea is to insinuate that price was still going to respect the supply zone, pull back some. We never know how far price is going to pull back, but we know it's going to pull back somewhere in that area. All right. And then ultimately price again, but price doesn't just shoot up. Price will wave up, which is why you see my yellow waving up. Okay. Waving to the upside is how we like to call it. All right. And that's exactly what price did for the week. So as you can see what I drew out, now price hasn't broken this resistance zone yet, which is my expectation for this coming week. But basically look how price was creating holding and maintaining that bullish trend somewhat in a consolidation though. Okay. And that's exactly what my yellow line is drawing out for you guys. All right. So I'm going to delete some of this for you so that you can see clear and we can get on track for the week. So again, if you go back and you watch last week's video, let's talk about how much money you could have potentially made in the markets. Again, we were looking for price to pull back to a demand zone, and it absolutely did, depending on what your entry confirmation was. I use swings, okay? Swing patterns, and I use engulfing patterns on the 1 hour chart, or I use double bottom patterns on the 15-minute or the 1 hour chart. And that's exactly what you got here. I mean, it's all over the market here. So we're just going to choose, let's say this area here, right? Because I see a a W pattern here. I mean, I see a couple of things. I see it all. Okay, hopefully you guys can see it too. So just about 47 pips, well, 47 points, 474 pips. And again, probably was well at 500 if you allow the market to get you in down here as well. Okay, this is again the third or fourth week in a row. I can't remember where we are. My apologies, but go back and watch those videos on the live streams. Third or fourth week in a row, you guys, we are net positive. Do you hear what I'm telling you? All right, so you want to make sure that you are always tuned in to these live streams. And if you are struggling with getting in the market, knowing where to get in the market, once you understand how to trade one asset, you do the exact same thing for other currencies, commodities, indices, in other markets. Okay, so again, third or fourth week in a row. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the oracle. I'm gonna let y'all call me what you want, but make sure it's good. Okay, so my goal is just to make sure that you all understand how to invest. Right? Repeat that after me. If you are able to type in the chat, my goal is to make sure that you all understand how to invest. If your money is not making you money, you need to be here every week learning. Okay, make a commitment for 2024 to learn. All right, and by 2025, okay, perfectly in 6 months, but by in a year, you'll know how to invest. Okay, and your money will always be able to make money. Money is a tool, you guys. Make sure you are using that tool to build a house. Right? Make sure you're using that tool to build a house, a financial house. Right? Okay. So I'm a little amped this week, right? Got a lot of sauce for you guys. I've been holding back a little bit, but I'm going to start bringing out my big guns to you guys. All right, so what are we expecting this week? The same thing we've been expecting, okay, all the previous week. More bullish activity. More bullish activity. I do have a couple of gems for you guys at the end of this. I'm just going to put this right here. I don't want to forget those. So as you can see, I have this bullish channel here. I think I may have added that as well after last week's stream. I have this bullish channel. Price is basically, respecting this consolidated bullish channel. So that also acts as supply and demand zones. We want to be aware that we are already near that supply zone. We could potentially see price pull back again. So with that being said, I actually see a nice little zone in here. All right, price is respecting this as resistance, breaking it, resistance, and ultimately it breaks it. So now it's demand. Okay, so price could pull back to the middle of this channel. Right, that's one confirmation. Could be one confirmation for a demand zone. And I'm actually going to pull this one up just a little bit on top of there. Okay, again, it's a zone, so it's never going to be perfect, but it's what your eyes see. It's always relative and subjective to your eyes, but as long as we're all within that same area, okay, we're all floating. With that being said, price could, what am I expecting a week? All right, let's look for the week rather. We're going to pull this up. Because price is already at a high, price could potentially pull again. Why do I start with that pullback? Because if we're at a high, I do not want to buy the new high. All right, I want to buy that discount area. I need price to pull back to a demand zone. So I'm going to show you a couple of options. All right, price could pull back to this demand zone, and ultimately start breaking up, and that's what we want to see. This, that's ideal. All right, that's ideal. Okay. However, let's change this color just to give you guys, let's use black maybe. Okay. Price has not created a higher high necessarily. It's kind of at an equal high. The reason I say that, what do I mean when price could actually create that, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. Price could actually create a, new high. Right, a negative 627 high or negative 61.8 high before it actually pulls back. So to find an area of value here, we would have to scroll all the way back to find where that high could be. Okay. I'll throw a fib on here to give us an idea. But price could pull here, respect this as a demand zone. All right, that channel, and ultimately push up. That's another option if price is extremely bullish, which I'm going to show you in a moment why price might be extremely bullish. Okay, so it could respect that area. That's option 2. Or, okay, let's use black again. Okay, price could, push and create a new high here. I mean, it has so many options. It could come here, or we could see another sale come into the market. It really just depends on, what the news and our fear and greed meter tells us. So those are the 2 gems I wanted to throw in here for you guys. When you're building a bias, you want to have the one that looks the most reasonable to you, and that's what my yellow one is. But I'm aware, of where price is and what could potentially happen. So I'm gonna, be watching it. Again, I'm not the oracle, so I can't say price is going to do this, this, and this. We do know price is bullish. So I am looking for areas of value or at demand zones for that buy. So you have to plan out where could those buys happen. Could happen here. Okay, I could be looking for my confirmation there. I could be looking for my confirmation here on top of this channel once price breaks out of it. And if price just ultimately wants to pull back again, then I may be looking for, price to respect the bottom of this channel once again before it actually is ready to take off. Either way, I'm not hopping in the buy at the high. I'm not hopping in the buy in the middle of the trend moving. I need price to pull back. So last week, I'm hopping in all buys here at all these demand zones. All of these areas were buy opportunities, okay? So hopefully you all catch my drift. Let me talk real quick about the calendar and sentiment, the fear and greed meter. So what we're looking at for this week, don't have all my stuff set really, but we are going to get rid of these folders. We have CPI this week, if I'm not mistaken. And we're looking at the US index. So we're going to look at the US currency. Okay, because that's what's going to be affected. We have CPI on Tuesday. I do teach fundamentals at an expert level. CPI is our inflation data. If inflation, in fact, continues to come down, we could see the US dollar fall some, okay? Why would we see the dollar fall? Because the overall activity of the economy is starting to deflate some, okay? Deflation is starting to come into the market. Again, I trade currencies based off strength and weakness, not good or bad, okay? And just because inflation is coming down doesn't mean the economy is doing bad. It's all about the central banks getting control of the economy's level of activity. Always want the economy to be in balance, okay? And obviously, that's overall good for the people, right? So with that being said, inflation is currently at 3.2. The central bank's goal is 2 to 3%. They have been doing a very good job with the monetary policy, controlling the inflation with interest rates, okay? So if inflation comes down, that could lead us to a lower in the near future, right? So all of that is going to cause the pressure off the US dollar to deflate. We'll see some weakening in the US dollar. Guess what that means for the indices? Bullish, okay? All right, bullish. Now, again, that's what I'm looking at. Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. That's during the New York session. Inflation data comes out. And this is actually wrong. This should be 7:30 a.m. So my time zone isn't set accurately. This is going to be 7:30 a.m. CST, Central Standard Time. Okay? So, just told you about the news. You always want to be aware of the news. So that's one gem. Haven't added that to the previous week's live streams. That's why this one's a little longer. I want to give you all a few more gems. You always want to be aware of what news is coming out for the week because that's what's going to affect the US dollar and the indice. Okay, the S&P the S&P 500 index. Okay. We also have we have core PPI, another measure, inflation. We even, oh my God, I didn't even see this. We have interest rate decisions this week after the inflation data. This week is going to be on fire. It's going to be a lot of volatility and volume flowing in the market. So get ready to see our index move. And I'm expecting a bullish S&P 500. I'm just telling you. I know what's going on. Okay. Then we have some unemployment data, and we have PMI as well. OMG. Okay. So this could potentially on Friday cause a pullback in that index, in our S&P 500, because more than likely we're going to see the services and manufacturing PMI. I don't know, we might see it either steady or probably hold. That's pretty positive and bullish for the US dollar. That's good news basically for the dollar if these hold or remain strong above 50 or at 50. So that could cause that index to pull back some. Now let's go to the fear and greed meter. I hadn't dropped this on you guys. However, my current students definitely know about the fear and greed meter. We are in a very optimistic, okay, greedy market, okay, where everybody is spending money right now. It's Christmas time. It's optimistic. There's no war fears. There's no talks of recession fears right now. I mean, it might be in a few articles somewhere, but it's not, so there's nothing for investors and traders and banks to fear right now. So we're below this 20 mark, which is where we start to see extreme fear come into the market. And with that being said, we are creating beautiful lower highs and lower lows. So we're not even near fear. Okay. So with that being said, that's very optimistic for the indice. I have no other reason to look for sell opportunities, even on a small pullback. I'm gonna wait for that pullback to give me that perfect buy opportunity. All right. So those are the two gems I wanted to drop on you. Again, thank you all for tuning in. And let's go back to our S&P 500. Okay. This will wrap up the expectation for this week, the weekly markup on S&P 500. If you have questions, reach out to me. I have some links in my information section. Okay. Click those links. Get in contact with me. Learn how to trade, you guys. Happy trading for this week.